So yes, I thought I'd be back with another tier list because I really enjoy doing these, and for the first time on the channel, it's not Warhammer, it's not MCU, no, it's a WWE themed tier list. And if any wrestling fans, most of my subscribers are wrestling fans, you will know that this is going to be on all of Roman Reigns' Universal title defenses since 2020. Obviously, mainly on the pay-per-views. I'm going to focus. I know he had a few defenses on SmackDown, but I'm mainly going to focus on and grade and tier all his Universal title defenses on pay-per-view. So of course, Roman Reigns has just passed 500 days as Universal Champion. It's one of the longest runs in recent history in WWE. I think the only one that's gone higher is Walter with the UK Championship, and I know Brock had it for a while, but I think Roman's has beaten Brock's reign now, hasn't he? Back from 2017 to 2019. I think Roman's beaten that reign now, hasn't he? I think. Was it 2017, 2018? Sorry, yeah. So yeah. So let's get started then. So yes, like I said, Roman Reigns has been. The reign is still continuing. Obviously, he's still Universal Champion now. He's going to be having a defense with Seth Rollins at the Royal Rumble. But I just thought, because it's been such a great reign, and to cap off, he's just gone past 500 days. Let's grade and tier list all of his pay-per-view defenses the last year and a half. So yes, let's get started then. So his first defense was the Jey Uso defenses was the Jey Uso feud on pay-per-view. Yes, so Jey Uso at Clash of Champions. I'm gonna give this match. I'm gonna give it a B. Yeah, because it was just basically a 25-minute squash match, really. Roman just absolutely squashed and demolished Jey Uso for most of the match. Most of the match he was going, acknowledge me, say I'm the chief. This is all over there. That's where it all started. The tribal chief, the head of the table character. He was basically trying to beat Jey Uso into submission. Jey Uso got every now and then he got a little bit of offense in, but for the most part it was just a squash until Jimmy Uso came out at the end, and I think he threw in the towel, so the match finished. He was like, yeah, acknowledge me and all that. Yeah, it was his first defense. He just made Roman look like an absolute beast as he just beat poor Jey Uso all over the ring. Yeah, but it was a good match. It was a B. It was just fun watching Roman being so dominant, but it wasn't really a match because Jey Uso, like I said, barely got any offense in him. Whenever he did, he got shut down straight away. So definitely it's not up here, but it's not like down here. So, I mean, let me just say this right now: nothing in Roman's title reign has been D tier. It's all C to S, without a doubt. Then I know he briefly faced Braun on SmackDown in a title defense. So obviously he won, but can't remember much about that match. So like I said, I'm going to mainly leave his SmackDown defenses off, apart from maybe one or two, because some of them are quite very good matches. But for the most part, I'm going to concentrate on pay-per-views. So then he had a rematch with Jey Uso at Hell in a Cell. And where am I going to put this one? I'm going to put this one B. Yeah, and some people say it was A, but for me, it was just more of the same, really. Roman just dominated most of the match again, but this time it was in Hell in a Cell. And Roman just kept saying, this can all be over. Just acknowledge me, and this is all over. Just acknowledge me. Say I'm the chief. That it was just more of the same from Clash Champions. Jey Uso did get a bit more offense in this match. It wasn't completely one-sided like Clash of Champions was. Jey Uso did get more offense in. Obviously, they incorporated a lot more of the cell this time round, but it finished the same way. Jimmy Uso came out trying to save Jey, and then Roman pretended to break down, crying, pretended, and then he just hit a guillotine choke on Jimmy. And Jey was like, no, stop. And then he's like, I admit, I submit, you're the chief. And that's when that's when Jey Uso was like, okay, I submit, and I belong to you now, Roman. I'm your lackey, and you're my tribal chief. You're the chief. And that's, I think, at the end of the match, Roman got crowned, didn't he, by his father and his uncle, or was that the end of Clash of Champions? So yeah, but I enjoyed the Jey Uso feud, even though both matches were just very, very one-sided beatdowns. Despite the fact Jey Uso showing a lot of heart and refusing to give it. Then he faced Drew at Survivor Series, but that wasn't a title defense, so I'm not gonna. That obviously isn't here, but I'd probably put the Drew match in A tier. That was a really good match. I really liked the Drew match, champion versus champion at Survivor Series, but it wasn't a title defense, so it doesn't count. Then next up, we began the Kevin Owens feud, which personally I think has been my favourite feud so far out of all of Roman's defences and feuds he's had so far as Universal Champion. I think the KO feud has been so great. Well, it was so great, sorry. So TLC 2020 in a TLC match against KO, that is going to get S. Yep, it was so good, that match. It was by far Roman's best defense at the time. Probably still to this day, it's one of his best defenses. Like, go back and watch that match. I think it's very underrated. It doesn't get enough people. Not enough people talked about that match. It was so good. I mean, one of the best TLC matches I've seen in years. It was brutal between Roman and KO. They really went at it. There was just so many brutal spots, back and forth, like I said, aka tables, ladders, and chairs. And KO showed a lot of heart. And he should have won the match at 3 points. There were like 3 occasions where he had Roman beaten. He was climbing the ladder, but Jey Uso interfered several times and stopped KO from winning. And bloody Jey Uso became a running theme in a lot of these defenses. helping Roman retain and keep the belt, and that was the case here. It was a great match, so good, but at the end, Jey Uso interfering was just too much, and at the end, Roman hit a guillotine choke on KO. He fell down the ladder, and Roman retained. But the feud was far from over. They had a rematch the next week, I believe, on SmackDown in a brutal steel cage match. This was, I mean, if I was going to grade this, I'd probably put the steel cage match here or here. It was a brutal steel cage match, and Roman won by tying. He got handcuffed to the cage, and Roman was just sick of Kevin was sick of Jey Uso interfering. So then they had another match, a last man standing match at the Royal Rumble last year, which was brutal. And the Royal Rumble last man standing match is going to get A for me. Really good match. It went like, what, I think it was like 35 minutes, and it was all over the arena. They thought of it initially in the ring and around the Titantron, but then they went and outside, and Roman like ran over KO with the golf buggy. KO hit this swanton bomb off of like a ladder onto Roman. It was brutal. Honestly, this match was S. It was S tier, but then the finish was terrible, and it was such a bad botch. Basically, they used the handcuffs. KO got some revenge for SmackDown, and he handcuffed Roman. And so technically, then Roman was stuck with the handcuffs, so he couldn't stand up. But the ref didn't count because Roman wasn't meant to win. KO wasn't meant to win. So for like 2 minutes, the ref was trying. Paul Heyman was trying to undo Kevin Owens' handcuffs, and it looked so bad. I was like, oh dear me. So yeah, they couldn't get it off, and so KO won the match, but it never got counted. Like, oh. And then eventually, when they got Roman out of the handcuffs, Roman won with a guillotine choke and won, and that was it. That was the end of the Kevin Owens feud. But I've got to say, we got 2 amazing matches. Even if the ending of the Royal Rumble last man standing match was a bit botched, yeah, it was still really, really good. And still to this day, I think one of Roman's best feuds and / matches he's had as Universal Champion, one of the best opponents. So then next up we had was Daniel Bryan at Elimination Chamber. Now correct me if I'm wrong, I believe this was a very short match because Daniel Bryan won the Elimination Chamber match to become the #1 contender against Roman. But unfortunately, Daniel Bryan didn't know he was facing Roman right after the Elimination Chamber match. So he just did a grueling, 35-minute Elimination Chamber match. He'd won, but he was absolutely exhausted. And then Roman came out and just squashed him. So it's going to get C, the elimination, because it wasn't even really a match. Poor Bryan got screwed. It was like 2-3 minutes. I think Bryan got a little bit of offense in, but then Roman just got back on top and hit 2 spears, and that was done. And I was like, yeah, but this definitely isn't over. And you can see from Bryan had like 4 matches with Roman. So the Bryan feud was long too, if you count SmackDown as well. Then up, we had the match at Fastlane. Daniel Bryan gets his full-on rematch after he got screwed at Elimination Chamber against Roman. And the Fastlane match, for me, is S. It was really good. Daniel Bryan and Roman Reigns have such good chemistry. It was a rematch from their Fastlane match back from 2015, this for Fastlane 2021, and it was just a brutal really good, brutal 35-minute match between these two. Of course, Edge was outside because at this point Edge had won the Rumble, so he was like the #1 contender to face Roman. So Edge was outside as like the special guest enforcer to keep an eye on the match, and it was great. Bryan at a few points looked like he was about to win the match. I think there was one point where he hit a guest lock on Roman, and Roman was tapping out, but the ref wasn't in the ring, and then Edge broke up the submission. I was like, no, Edge. So it was just such a great match between two absolute fantastic wrestlers. I mean, it's another very underrated match from Roman's title reign. Go back and watch that Fastlane main event. It was just such a good match, in my opinion. So yeah, great. And then, of course, got the big one, the main event of WrestleMania 37, Night 2. Yes, the triple threat at WrestleMania, the triple threat with Daniel Bryan, Edge, and Roman. And this is tricky for me because I think this match, personally, is a bit overrated. It's definitely not S tier for me. I think this match wasn't as good as people remember as it was. It still is a very, very good match, but just not amazing in my eyes. So where am I going to put the triple threat match from WrestleMania? I need to think about this. I'm going to put it in A. Yeah, it was a very good match. But for me, it should have been S in my opinion. You know, this had everything. This had all the build. You know, Bryan and Edge and Roman in a triple threat match. It just had, of course, Bryan wanted his revenge after being screwed over twice. Edge, of course, won the Rumble, and Roman defending the belt. It was a really good 20-minute match, but it just wasn't. My only problem with this match, why it doesn't get S tier, it was just a little bit too short. You know, for a main event match at WrestleMania, this match should have been 25-30 minutes. It was just a little bit too short, but the spots we got were great. There was table spots. You know, there was a really cool spot where both Edge and Bryan had Roman locked into like a crossface, and they were like, "You let go, no, you let go." But the problem I have with Roman's defenses is Jey Uso again getting involved, and there were both times where Bryan and Edge had the match won. I mean, Edge had the match won several times, but Jey Uso kept getting involved and stopped Roman from getting pinned or submitted. It was so annoying. And at the end, you know, Roman stacks both of them on top of each other with the help of Jey Uso, like cheating with a steel chair. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, Roman retained, you know, and that famous image of him, like I said, stacking Bryan and Edge on top of each other. So it was a good match. If Jey Uso hadn't got involved so much, and it'd been maybe 5-10 minutes longer, it definitely would have been up here. But for me, the triple threat at Mania is A. Very, very good match, but just not quite amazing in my opinion. So, but yeah, but it's definitely not B or C. Yeah. Then, and I believe that was like Daniel Bryan's last PPV match before he went to AEW. And then to finish off with the Bryan feud, yes, Daniel Bryan had one more match against Roman on SmackDown. Obviously, I'm not going to grade the SmackDown matches, but if I was, this would probably go here because it was here because it was a really good match. You know, it was Daniel Bryan's I believe it was wrong. This was Daniel Bryan's last match in WWE because the stipulation was if he lost against Roman, he'd have to leave SmackDown or leave WWE. And of course, Roman won. I believe it was a clean pin. I don't think Uso got involved this time, and that was it. Bryan was done. And of course, now he's doing really well in AEW. So yeah, but the Bryan feud was great. Yeah, but I'll probably put that here or here. The Bryan match on SmackDown after WrestleMania. Okay, moving on then onto WrestleMania Backlash with Cesaro. Yay! Where am I going to put this match? This was another really underrated match. I feel like this match did not get mentioned enough. You know, people talk about his match with John Cena. I think this match was really good. Effort. I think it goes here. I really, really enjoyed the Cesaro WrestleMania Backlash match. You know, I was just so happy to see Cesaro getting a main event push for once. You know, he deserved it. You know, after he beat Seth Rollins at WrestleMania, he had a great match. Now he became the number one contender to face Roman. We all knew he wasn't going to win. Obviously, it would have been mad if he'd beaten Roman. We all knew he wasn't going to win, but he put up a great fight. And yeah, we all knew how good Cesaro was. And he had a great 35-minute match with Roman. It went on for ages. Obviously, Roman did dominate quite a lot of the match, but Cesaro did make a flurry of offenses every now and then to keep it making look like he could win. Like he hit some sharpshooters, he hit a lot of uppercuts, and there was one point where it looked like he was going to win, but sadly he didn't. And I think Roman Roman did win clean, didn't he? I think he just choked Cesaro out at the end, didn't he, with a full Nelson. Then at the end, of course, Seth came out and beat up Cesaro more to set up their rematch. I think at Hell in a Cell. So poor Cesaro. But yeah, it was a great match. Very underrated match. These three matches are so underrated for Roman's title reign. They don't get mentioned enough. I think that's why they're in S tier, because they were just such great singles matches against Roman. But yeah, poor Cesaro, and it sucks he never got a rematch against Roman, but he got his one great pay-per-view match with Roman, and in my opinion, it's one of the best Roman's had. And then I believe we had a Hell in a Cell match with Rey Mysterio on SmackDown. This is before Hell in a Cell, because Roman didn't wrestle at Hell in a Cell. Where would I put this match? Well, it was I'll probably put that in A or S, because it was a brutal Hell in a Cell match. Ray did get quite a lot of offense in from what I saw, but Roman did retain, obviously, and I think he beat up Dominic before or after the match too. So poor Dominic. But Ray did put up a good fight. But yeah, Ray, as always with Roman's defenses, he just dominated and successfully retained. And of course, he didn't defend the belt at Hell in a Cell. And then we had Edge at Money in the Bank. Where's this match going to go? S. This was great. People think maybe I'm being too generous, but I thought this was a really, really good match. It had a bit of a slow start with Edge getting kind of worked over and beaten up for the first 10 minutes, but then when the match got going, it got really good. It was long. It was about 30 minutes. Like I said, most of Roman's defenses were like 30-minute matches. All of these matches were 30. That's why I was so surprised by the WrestleMania triple threat was 20 minutes. But anyway. Yes, of course, Edge wanted his rematch from WrestleMania after he got screwed, and I really enjoyed this match. I think it had everything, really. There were so many times where we thought Edge was going to win with spears. I think he had Roman beat on several occasions, and near the end of the match, it looked like he had Roman beat with the crossface, and that Roman was about to submit or pass out, and then bloody Seth Rollins came out and cost Edge the match. I was like, no! So obviously setting up Edge and Seth for SummerSlam. And then, of course, after the match, John Cena came back, and it was a huge pop, and that set up John Cena and Roman for SummerSlam. So yeah, but the Edge match was really good at Money in the Bank, definitely, really, really good. Then John Cena at SummerSlam, which was huge. I think this was definitely the biggest feel, the biggest hype going into it, because it was John Cena's first match back in 2-3 years. It was so huge to see him back challenging Roman at SummerSlam, one of their biggest shows of the year. And while the feud and the rivalry and the hype for this match going in was huge, I think the match, while still very good, was a bit overrated. Some people put this match on their best match of the year list. It's not. I think it was on WWE's top 10 of the year. No. So for me, John Cena at SummerSlam, it gets an A. It was a good match, but I just don't think it was anywhere near as good as these 4 matches, in my opinion. And I think it was very overrated. I think it was just because it was John Cena. It was the hype of seeing John Cena back. It was great, but I think these matches were definitely better. And I don't think it is a bit overrated, because for most of the match, go back and watch it. Roman just dominates John Cena. John Cena doesn't get much offense in. It gets kind of hard to watch because Roman's just constantly dominating or battering poor John Cena. John Cena does get a bit of offense in with his AAs, his STFs, 5-knuckle shuffles, and he just hit that AA through the table on Roman, and the AA from the top rope for the close fall. Ooh, but then no, Roman gets back on top with a spear at the end. 1, 2, 3. And that was it. That was it. And he beats John Cena clean. So it was a big win but for me it wasn't. It was a very good match, just not for me up here. Not as good as the singles matches with KO, Bryan, Cesaro, or Edge. So that's why I'm just a bit confused why I see it on people's top 10 matches of the year list. And I think these were better matches, in my opinion. But yeah, it still was a very good match at SummerSlam. And of course, again, setting up, Brock Lesnar came out at the end. Oh my god, Brock Lesnar's back. So yes, we'll talk about Brock Lesnar, because I think that's where they're going with Roman and Brock, isn't it? At WrestleMania, it looks like that's where we're heading. But we'll talk about that later. Then then the Finn Balor feud happened, where Roman started feuding with Finn Balor for a little bit. So they had a match on SmackDown. The SmackDown match was really good. That'll probably get A or S tier, in my opinion. The SmackDown match. Obviously where he beat regular Finn Balor. I think was it clean, or did Jey Uso come out and help like he always bloody did, or was he the or was it a clean? But I can't remember now because it was a while back. And then he faced the Demon Finn Balor at Extreme Rules in an Extreme Rules match. And for me, the Extreme Rules match with Demon Finn is gonna get a A. Yeah, it was a really good match. Don't get me wrong, really good match. But I think going into it, we all knew Roman wasn't going to lose. So it was a really good match with Finn. Like I said, there were so many cool table spots, weapon spots. Like I said, it was a really proper hardcore Extreme Rules match where Roman got taken to the edge. And then at the end, it looked like Finn was maybe going to win because all of a sudden he turned, the lights went red, and he was like probably resurrecting as the Demon when he got speared through the barricade by Roman. What was it, a table spot? And then the stupid finish happened with the top rope breaking, and Finn Balor fell off the top rope. It snapped. Like, it was just so bizarre. And Roman Spear 1-2-3. It was just such a bizarre finish. If it wasn't for that stupid weird finish of the top rope snapping, it would probably be S. It was a really good match, but this bizarre finish. It's never been explained what happened. Did it get sabotaged? Was it an accident? I mean, it was obviously meant to happen, but it just felt so bizarre. And Finn Balor's never had a sniff of the Universal Championship since. He went on to the King of the Ring after this, and Roman obviously went on to face Brock. I mean, it kind of ruined the hype of this match because Roman's match with Brock already got announced before this match. So it was like, come on, poor Finn. He got done dirty. And yeah, it sucks, but it was a good match, very good match. But it just stupid finish. Then Brock at Crown Jewel. Yes, Brock Lesnar. This is tricky because the hype for this match was big at start. Brock and Roman going head to head again because this has become quite a big rivalry. The last what 7 years, seeing these two go head to head. And of course, it was Brock Lesnar's first match back in like a year and a half, so it was a lot of hype going into this. However, the match wasn't great in my opinion. It was just Brock looked a little bit rusty. He hadn't wrestled in a year and a half, so that's understandable. But it was just a very basic match. Brock hit a bunch of suplexes. There was a few outside spots, and then Roman hit a few, spears, a few Superman punches, and Brock nearly had the match won with an F5, but the ref got hit, rolled out the ring, and then Paul Heyman threw in the title, which Roman used to cheat to win. He whacked Brock with it and then retained. It was just. See, I'm gonna give it a C. Yeah, I'm sorry. It just wasn't a great match for me. It was too short. It was like 13 minutes. I think it was Roman's shortest pay-per-view defense if you don't count Elimination Chamber. it was just too, or Sami Zayn. Well, that's SmackDown. This is but for pay-per-view wise, it wasn't great. It wasn't bad. It doesn't get D, but it was just for me. Crown Jewel match, and I assume if Brock and Roman are going to go at it again, maybe at WrestleMania 38, hopefully they can have a much better match at WrestleMania 38, which can be B, A, or maybe even S tier. You don't know. So yeah, because we know now Brock's WWE champion. We know they're going to have another match. They've already been teasing. They had a face-to-face confrontation with obviously both of them had the belts on SmackDown, and then obviously the very brief Sami Zayn match where he just squashed poor Sami Zayn after Brock F5'd him a few times, and yeah, that was definitely going to get a C. So yeah, guys, that has been all of Roman Reigns' ranking. That's been my ranking of Roman Reigns' all of his pay-per-view title defenses the last 500 days, and what a reign it's been. Without a doubt, it's going to go down as one of the best world title reigns in history, and still not over. Like I said, he's facing Seth Rollins at the Royal Rumble in a few weeks. I'm really looking forward to that match. I'm sure Seth Rollins, with the Seth Rollins defense, is going to be up here somewhere. If he retains, which if he retains, we'll see. Then I assume he's facing Brock at WrestleMania, maybe title versus title or something. So hopefully he can have a very good match with Brock at WrestleMania. We will see. We don't know what the next few months are going to hold. Maybe his title reign will end at Royal Rumble. Maybe Seth is going to be the one to beat him because they've shown that Seth is kind of Roman's boogeyman. Whenever they had a match, Roman never seems to win, and like singles or multi-man matches or fatal four-ways the last 2015 2016. So we will see. But like I said, it's been such a great title reign so far. S tier was TLC with KO, Fastlane with Bryan, WrestleMania Backlash with Cesaro, Money in the Bank with Edge, so that was all S tier. Four fantastic matches. A tier, like really good matches. So the last man standing match of KO at Royal Rumble, the triple threat at WrestleMania, John Cena at SummerSlam, the Demon King, or the Demon Finn Balor at Extreme Rules. Then B, just very solid, not bad, but not really good. So yeah, just both matches with Jey Uso, Hell in a Cell, Clash of Champions, and then just onto C tier, the Bryan match at Elimination Chamber, which, like I said, wasn't even a proper match, and the Brock Lesnar match at Crown Jewel, which just was okay, but definitely not up here in my opinion. So yeah, guys, where would you rank Roman Reigns' pay-per-view defenses so far? Comment below, let me know. So yeah, guys, thank you all very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I will see you all very, very soon.